Hello everyone, it's your boy the Fantasy Football Almanac back at it with another best ball draft. Here we're launching into a Best Ball Mania 3 draft, where it's a $25 entry fee for a chance to win $2 million, or up to $10 million in total cash prizes. So that's really the goal with these best ball drafts is to draft as high of a possible ceiling as you can. The floor doesn't matter, because if not, you're losing $25. The goal is to get the ceiling on ceiling on ceiling, try and get as high of a ceiling as you possibly can with the players you have. So taking guys like Christian McCaffrey are more valuable because you're having like such a higher ceiling with a guy like Christian McCaffrey. Najee Harris coming off the board at 5. A very high volume guy. I think you'd be fine at 9 or 10, but I'm a little surprised he's going off the board at 5. Leaving Justin Jefferson to come off the board at 6 most likely. There's a pretty high chance we most likely end up taking one of these 4 guys, whoever that may be. Whether it be Jefferson, Eckler. Oh my god, Josh Allen at 6. Wow. Oh my god. Now we're 2 picks away. Justin Jefferson coming off the board at pick 7. I'm hoping for Eckler, but maybe Diggs or Derrick Henry. I do like Eckler the most in this range of 3 guys, but I think Stephon Diggs is probably second. I think Derrick Henry's obviously awesome, but I just can't justify taking Derrick Henry because I don't think the ceiling is there without the receiving game. He just doesn't have enough of a receiving game to really have the same ceiling. But at the same time, Derrick Henry is a guy that can drop 30 points on any given week. I mean, 40 points even on any given week, which is something that not really too many players have access to. So it is why I can understand taking Derrick Henry over Austin Eckler or Dalvin Cook. Wow, Derrick Henry off the board at 11. Oh my god. It is possible. There's 2 guys we like here. It is possible you get one of them. If not, I probably have to take DeAndre Swift here. I'm really hoping for Joe Mixon, though. This guy does have Dalvin Cook already, so it is possible he doesn't want to go Joe Mixon, already having a running back here. It is also possible that he does. We shall see. I also really like Joe Mixon here because it's a pretty unique team combination. I'm assuming he goes Aaron Jones. I'm assuming not too many players have, or too many fantasy players have Austin Eckler and Joe Mixon in their starting lineups, and that gives us a really good running back stack here that not a lot of teams can say they have. I definitely prefer our running back stack to Dalvin Cook and Aaron Jones at this point. At this point, I think our draft is starting off really well. If you guys do like this draft so far, go down, leave a like, leave a comment below, and subscribe to the channel. I think you guys would really enjoy the best ball content here, so you guys can make some good money, hopefully, potentially win that $2 million. Stay tuned, by the way, we are announcing a giveaway later on in the video. It's also in the comments below if you guys want some of the details. Would mean a lot. This guy goes Josh Allen and James Conner. That is crazy. Not as crazy as this giveaway. You guys can enter for free for a chance to potentially win $2 million. James Conner and Josh Allen, though, coming off the board really early. I'm okay with it, honestly. I'm not too mad. Najee Harris and Saquon Barkley at pick 5 and pick 20. That's an interesting combo as well. Not as good as the Eckler-Joe Mixon combo, but still good. I do like these guys. Austin Eckler, I mean, should be getting 100 targets, no problem. And Joe Mixon will most likely be seeing more third down work, as well as the fact that he does have some upgrades at O-line. I mean, they did pick up Lyle Collins from the Cowboys this free agency, which is really nice. I mean, and in general, PFF ranks in the 8th best O-line, so I do really like Joe Mixon at this point over most of the other guys. I don't think he has the same ceiling because he probably will not be getting 100 targets, but he will almost no doubt be getting 50 or 60 targets, which is good enough. Definitely a pretty high-end RB1. I mean, I am releasing RB rankings soon for my top 12 RBs, and in that you will see exactly where I have Joe Mixon, where I have Najee, McCaffrey, Taylor. So if you are interested, please let me know down below in the comments. I would like to hear what you guys think. Let me know your own top 12 RB list. It is pretty interesting. I know in best ball versus redraft, it probably is a little bit different. Whereas best ball, you're probably going for guys like Saquon Barkley, Aaron Jones, guys that if they perform or outperform their ADP, will definitely pop off. We got Alvin Kamara coming off the board at pick 26. This is really good. The reason why I like this a lot, seeing Alvin Kamara come off so early, and James Conner as well, is because seeing these guys come off really early means there is going to be a little bit more wide receiver value coming off the board. It is possible we could get Keenan Allen. Tyreek Hill came off the board at pick 28. It is possible, and Kyle Pitts coming off the board. There is still wide receivers on the board that I think are really, really talented. And the fact that we already have two running backs here means we can take advantage of this value falling down to us. And there is a lot of value. We still got A.J. Brown, who I don't really like, but what can you do? We got Keenan Allen, DJ Moore. I would probably take Keenan here because I do like Keenan a fair amount. Maybe honestly here though we would probably there's a case you can make for Javonte just because I mean this team combination would be ridiculously unique and nobody else would have a team combination even close to this. Also, I don't really have a lot of Javonte stock, so I think a case could be made for Javonte here. Zeke is off the board as well. We are going to go Javonte here because, one, the team combination is really, really unique. You don't see Javonte Williams falling to pick 33 very, very often. Two, look at all these wide receivers on the board. We got Keenan Allen, Mike Williams, DJ Moore, Marquise Hollywood-Brown. Don't really like Courtland Sutton, but Courtland Sutton. Terry McLaurin. There's mad guys we really like, and I'm assuming we should be able to get one of them. One of them being either DJ Moore or Keenan Allen, the two guys I really like the most by far. And since we are pick 9, it is possible that one of them could fall. Marquise Brown would also be up there for me. Even Deontay Johnson would be fine, I guess. DJ Moore coming off the board. Maybe we should not have gone. Oh, come on. Give us Marquise. Give us Hollywood. If we get Hollywood here, I mean, that would just be absolutely insane. Over 1,000 yards last season. Didn't even have Lamar for the full season. Also 145 targets. I think the efficiency will be up for Marquise Hollywood-Brown on a per game basis just because Kyler Murray is a much better deep ball thrower than Lamar. Not to knock Lamar's deep ball. Lamar actually does have a surprisingly good deep ball. But I think it is better. Or Kyler Murray's is better. We do get Marquise Hollywood-Brown off the board here, which is a little bit unfortunate, honestly. Here we probably should go Terry McLaurin, a consistent 1,000-yard season performer. Doesn't have necessarily the ceiling, but the floor is definitely there. And I don't like Courtland Sutton at all. I would much, much, much rather have a guy like Terry McLaurin. We got Breece Hall coming off the board at pick 41, which is pretty interesting. It is a little sad to see all these wide receivers coming off the board. I don't think there was any possible way we could have gotten Javonte falling to us in the 4th, though. I mean, I do think there is a pretty, not even really that substantial, honestly. I do think the tier break between G.J. Moore and Terry McLaurin is not horrible. I mean, both are consistent 1,000 or 1,100-yard receivers with bad quarterback play. So, I mean, really, how much better is DJ Moore than Terry McLaurin? Hollywood, I really like this season, and Keenan Allen, I do like too. But all these guys are 1,100-yard guys. Literally every single one of them dropped to like 1,100 yards, between 1,000 and 1,200 yards in the last season. And if there is any guy I like more than anyone else, it's DJ Moore and Hollywood. I think those are the two guys I really, really like. And sometimes it is worth it to kind of play the value game. Yeah, again, getting Javonte Williams, nobody else, very, very few other teams are going to have this team combination. You don't see Joe Mixon slipping past. Here, 16 is probably his last. Austin Eckler, you don't see him slipping past 9. Javonte, you don't see him slipping past, honestly, like 28. I mean, you don't see Tyreek going to 28 at all either. There's a lot of really, really crazy picks going on here, which is nice. I mean, I honestly prefer it. If we're going to be getting insane value and people are going to be taking who they like, I'm more than fine with it. Especially this guy taking, he does go Jalen Waddle a little early, which is like fine, I guess. I'm really hoping, I mean, I don't think it's going to happen. I really don't. Rashad Bateman coming off the board at pick 48, a little bit early for him. I'm really hoping for a 1 Jerry Jeudy here. I think it is possible. And Darnell Mooney. Oh, that's painful. That is painful. I think Lamar Jackson, not Lamar Jackson, what the hell am I saying? Julio Jones will be coming off the board a lot earlier now, based on the news that he is joining the Tampa Bay Buccaneers officially. Came out about 20 minutes ago, something like that. So I really want to hop in a mock draft and see where he's taken. I think he will come off the board pretty early, I would imagine. By pick 160, 150. I mean, him being on the Buccaneers, I think is like an absolutely massive steal. I'm definitely going to be taking him a lot higher. Jerry Jeudy coming off the board at pick 53. A little bit unfortunate. There still are other wide receivers. Don't really like owning Gabe Davis, but again, if he's going to fall this far, I will gladly take him. Same thing with George Kittle. I think I would prefer George Kittle over Gabe Davis here. Again, because there are a fair amount of wide receivers I like, going all the way down to Chris Godwin. I would really, really like George Kittle here, though. Ultimately, I don't think he's going to fall. I really don't, but I'd also be fine with Gabe Davis. Any one of these two picks, and we are guaranteed one of them now. So let's see who Limericks goes. I mean, no matter who he goes, I'll be happy. I honestly probably would prefer Kittle over Gabriel Davis, but Gabe Davis is okay. I will most likely. So only one of these players has tight ends, so I think it's worth it to go Kittle here. I think we need to go Kittle. And then hopefully end up with a Chris Godwin, a DK Metcalf, even though I don't really love the wide receivers here as much. There's still two guys I like. Juju would be fine. These three guys will really be. He's cleared to practice, too. Yeah, I actually did see the news on that about an hour ago, which is awesome. And it means his draft stock will be rising a ton. And it's good because I have been drafting an absolute ton of Chris Godwin. I would really love him here. I think somebody will probably take Kyler here as well. But now we do have a really good running back room, at least an average tight end. I would say, I mean, at minimum average, and then Terry McLaurin to hold it down. Hopefully we can get Chris Godwin here. Gabe Davis, I expect to come off the board. It's not surprising in the slightest. We get Juju off the board as well, meaning there is only one wide receiver we like. T-Mags goes Chris Godwin here, getting a fifth wide receiver. Oh, man. We're taking guys I don't really like here at wide receiver. I was really hoping for Chris Godwin here. It is a little unfortunate. We probably will be taking Kyler Murray here unless he is sniped. I do like the value on Elijah Mitchell here now. I really have been rising on Elijah Mitchell really a lot, honestly. In the past, I would say honestly, past like 2 or 3 days or so, I've been thinking about it a lot more. Elijah Mitchell most likely will be the starter in this offense. I mean, it's pretty much all but guaranteed he's the starter. And even if he's not, you figure you pick up Tyrion Davis Price in the last round of your redraft league or in best ball. You take him at pick 150, 145 or something like that. There's not too much capital invested, and he will most likely be getting the actual backup spot. So it is fair to draft Elijah Mitchell. And then I was looking last night at and I recommend you guys do this as well to see what Vegas thinks about players. I was looking last night for Vegas's odds for rushing leaders in the entire league, and Elijah Mitchell was either fifth or sixth with plus 1,400. Obviously, Jonathan Taylor was 1 and Derrick Henry was 2, plus 450 and 550 respectively. But I think looking at those projections that Vegas puts out really does help. Because if you're looking at those projections, you get to really see exactly what Vegas thinks. At the end of the day, Las Vegas knows more than all of us combined. I mean, Las Vegas is full of the absolute smartest people. They run thousands of algorithms. So looking at what Vegas sees, I think it's very smart. Also, another thing that Vegas really liked, they were huge on Jerry Jeudy over Courtland Sutton as well. They had Jerry Jeudy at plus 3,000 to lead the league in receiving, and Courtland Sutton around plus 4,500. So they do think Jerry Jeudy will be more successful in his offense than Courtland Sutton. So I'm going to be listening to what Vegas says, honestly. I think that's probably the best strategy. Highly recommend it to anybody looking. I don't think Vegas should be the end-all, be-all. Obviously, we watch a lot of football. I watch a ton of football. Our opinion does matter. But Vegas also is a nice check to make sure that you're not going absolutely buck wild. And I think Jerry Jeudy over Courtland Sutton is one of those cases. And I think the same thing with Elijah Mitchell kind of made me realize that, or kind of helped me to realize I was already rising on Elijah Mitchell myself, but kind of helped me realize that Elijah Mitchell does actually have potential to be really, really good this season. I mean, his ceiling is actually insane this season. I really do like Elijah Mitchell now. I've grown on him a ton, and he is going fairly cheap. He is going behind all these other running backs like J.K. Dobbins, A.J. Dillon, in a lot of cases, these type of guys. Here, I might go Russ here, try and get a second QB. There's a couple things I would like to do. Again, I know I made this mistake before, but I'm not going with wide receivers. Maybe we do go Gibson here and just pick up a fourth back. There's a couple ways I could go. I think I'm going to go D-Hop here. D-Hop just because our ceiling is now really, really high with D-Hop, I think. And Devonta Smith will come off the board. I don't even know if Gibson will be off the board or Russ, but Honestly, I probably should have gone Gibson here. Realistically, although we do have three amazing running backs on this roster, I think Gibson would probably provide us with the last running back that we need. I don't think it'll fall to us though. It is pretty unlikely that he does. In which case, we will most likely be taking Kadarius Toney. Because this guy, I mean, he's taken 6 wide receivers, which is crazy to me. I can't see him taking too many more. I mean, he just has nothing else. The whole rest of his team is absolutely desolate. Maybe we do go because we don't have that many other. Let's see who he goes. He goes Antonio Gibson. This guy may be on auto draft. It is certainly possible. He just took the full 30 seconds. And usually when you do take the full 30 seconds, it does mean you're on auto draft. Because you did take Gabe Davis, best value pick or best ADP. Whenever you see these guys scooping up ADPs like this, it usually is indicative that they are on auto draft, which is a little bit annoying. But it means DeAndre Hopkins would have been gone at this point anyways, because they were around the same ADP. I'm fine with it. It means Russell Wilson will most likely be his, and if it is, then he's definitely on auto draft. And he is. It's really annoying going up against these people on auto draft because they take a full 30 seconds. I mean, this guy just spent a minute, just, wasting our time here. Still got two insane values, though. I mean, I will give it to him. His team is honestly pretty nice for an auto drafted team. I really do hate to say it. Because I hate these auto draft people, but it is nice. T-Mags probably will be going with a crazy wide receiver here. I imagine he probably will go Kadarius Toney. He's ripped our hearts out a lot here. Avoids a pup list. That's good news, too. He goes Devin Singletary, not ripping our hearts out. This team does have, also the thing that's really nice is we get the DeAndre Hopkins, Kyler Murray stack. So when DeAndre Hopkins comes back, I mean, we're going to be a lot better. A really, really good situation. Come on! Oh my god. This is crazy. Every single round, we're getting sniped with wide receivers here. It's really unfortunate, honestly. Here we may go TJ Hawkinson. I'm torn between Hawkinson and Olave. I think Olave could be the pick because, I mean, we don't really know what's going on with Michael Thomas, but TJ Hawkinson is also really enticing. We will most likely go Olave, though, here. We do need to bolster our wide receiver core. Pretty fair amount. This has been a tough draft, honestly. Your value has fallen to us every time at this position, and then these guys snipe it all up, gobble it up as much as possible. We do still have a really, really good roster. It's just annoying that we try and let these wide receivers fall, and these guys just will not stop taking wide receivers. Especially Kodas. I mean, Kodas is just really annoying because he's on auto draft. And T-Mags has sniped us quite a few times. I mean, Chris Godwin, Hollywood, Keenan, all guys we wanted here. Doesn't happen, but it's okay. I mean, you can't expect them to fall forever in these cases. And I mean, they were falling pretty far. We got Kareem Hunt and Clyde coming off the board, and Rashad Penny. We got a lot of these running backs coming off the board. It is pretty interesting to see. Rashad Penny has been rising. I'm not exactly sure where he'll rise to. I think this is probably about his peak in terms of where he's rising. Because, I mean, at the end of the day, he's a starting running back, but in an absolutely terrible offense. And volume is what matters for the most part. But Rashad Penny's had 4 years of complete injury history. He's got Kenneth Walker on his ass. And even though Rashad Penny is the starting back, I mean, it has been announced that he's the starting back. It most likely will be. I don't think Pete Carroll's lying too much. But I do think, even though Rashad Penny is the starting back, I think, really how many touches is he going to have? It probably be splitting a workload with the rookie Kenneth Walker. I mean, you don't draft a guy in the second round not to at least use him a little bit. So I imagine they probably will be splitting carries for the most part. I would not be really touching him. James Cook going all the way at pick 93. A little surprising. He has been getting pushed up boards. Devin Singletary getting pushed up boards as well, at least in this draft. Sky Moore, Treylon Burks, Raheem Mostert. So we are in an interesting position. TJ Hawkinson's still on the board. I was considering him with my last pick. I was considering him at 88. Still on the board at 102, so it is possible. I mean, Elder Marley and Lemericks both don't have tight ends here, so it is possible. It is crazy to see that these people really don't care about ADP at all, which is interesting. I kind of like these drafts because I do care about ADP. I think ADP is still important. I think ADP is still really important, honestly, but we have a lot of people coming off the board pretty early here. We do have a lot of tight ends on the board, but I do think TJ Hawkinson is most likely a tier ahead of Dallas Goedert or Dawson Knox. I mean, I've honestly been rising on Dallas Goddard as well. I think Dallas Goddard's a guy who I think I was a little too low on. I think I was a little too high on Dawson Knox, honestly. Dawson Knox, very fluky player. I mean, he is a guy that probably will be taking the long touchdowns. All right, we're taking TJ Hawkinson. We just have to. We'll take TJ Hawkinson. It feels weird. There's just so much value coming down on this board. And then maybe I even take Stafford here, honestly. I don't really love Stafford because he doesn't have that rushing upside. But what he does have is, okay, yeah, he goes off the board here. We're most likely going to be taking a wide receiver here. The wide receiver we have in mind is fairly obvious. I think it should be obvious to anyone watching the channel here. I try and get him absolutely everywhere. Will be nice. It means a lot of our wide receivers do have week 14 buys, which is pretty unfortunate, honestly. Our whole wide receiver core is week 14 buys, which is actually really annoying. But what can you do? We will. We gotta live and let learn. But anyways, we're gonna be also getting like tons of wide receivers. I mean, wide receivers is like the most important position. You're gonna be taking as many wide receivers as you can. This seems really good, honestly. You have Austin Eckler, Joe Mixon, and Javonte Williams. If Melvin Gordon does happen to go down through the season sometime, I mean, I think Javonte Williams would instantly ascend to be almost the best running back in this room. I mean, he would probably be ahead of Joe Mixon, probably just behind Austin Eckler, but it's pretty good company to be in, honestly. We get a lot of these guys. They're finally not taking wide receivers anymore, which we like to see. I mean, honestly, Chase Claypool's probably the better pick. He's going to be the wide receiver too, but I would much rather have my boy Christian Watson. Guy I really like this year in redraft. I think he's going much cheaper than a guy like Alan Lazard, which is good because Alan Lazard is fairly expensive. I think it's justified, but he is fairly expensive. I mean, who else is getting targets in that offense? I mean, it's got to be just Christian Watson. I'm going to make a hot takes video. Christian Watson will most likely be in that. Tyrion Davis Price coming off the board, pick 114. Oh my god. That's actually insane. Tyrion Davis Price. I like him. I like him as a player, but not that much. Is this the same guy? No, it's not the same guy. It's the guy who got Justin Jefferson at 7. Wow. Oh my god. He gets Justin Jefferson at 7. I mean, that's crazy to me. I don't know who I would pair up here. Probably, I think DeAndre Swift is the right pick, but then after this, I don't know who if I would have taken AJ Brown here. I don't know if I would have taken Cortland Sutton here. He's got an interesting draft. I think Dobbins does make sense, even though Dobbins is on the pup. Dobbins, when he does come back, will be a pretty successful running back. Honestly, it's weird. Ever since Dobbins got placed on the pup, I've seen his draft stock actually increase, if anything. He keeps going higher. I mean, there was one draft where everyone was panicking on him. Oh, no, he's on the pup. Including me. I mean, it was a little bit scary to see him fall that far, although I should have capitalized on value. Not realizing that it doesn't really matter too much. The whole pup news, I mean, you can be placed on the pup for any number of reasons, so it doesn't really matter too much. We have Fields coming off the board here. We're starting to have a little bit more of these quarterbacks come off, which is interesting. Kirk Cousins going all the way at pick 97. I don't even think this guy's any oh, he took Irv Smith. I take it back. We don't have to worry about tight ends though for the rest of the draft, which is really nice. We can get another quarterback or two to end the draft because I do think Kyler Murray does have very good boom weeks, but he also it's a very spiky quarterback. You know, a guy who can drop 30 or a guy who can drop like 11 or 10 or something. So it would be nice to get another quarterback or two. Tyler Boyd off the board. I used to love taking Trey Lance, but now I mean he's just so high up to where it's not really a huge value. I probably would have taken him at 81, but we need more wide receivers. We need receivers bad. Surprised, we do have Rondale Moore and Garrett Wilson still on the board here, 3 picks away. Both these guys do have 5 wide receivers, so it is possible. We can get one of them to fall to us. If not, Gallup too, I like a lot. So any of these 3 guys I would be fine with. This guy may just be like a terrible drafter, honestly. I don't know what the heck he's going to do. I'm pretty excited to see it. Dogs 48. He goes Garrett Wilson. He's either on auto draft or he might have just given up with the team he's built. He might just be like, what the heck was I doing? Like, I must have gotten drunk or something. Daniel Jones coming off the board to pick 127, which means we're guaranteed either Rondale Moore or Michael Gallup. We're going to take Rondale Moore here. I do prefer Rondale Moore over Michael Gallup here, especially because we do have Kyler Murray. getting a nice stack going. I do really like this stack. It's pretty interesting. We have D-Hop, Rondo Moore, and Kyler. All of them at values. I mean, it's nice when you get stacks all at values. Usually doesn't happen too often, but when it does, it's a great feeling. And has a couple players we like here again. We need to just be filling out this wide receiver core as much as possible, though. Jacoby Myers probably the pick. He doesn't have a week 14 or 13 bye, which is nice. So we could actually have our wide receivers here for a little bit more of the season. Jacoby Myers comes off the board. It's a little shitty to see Freiermuth and Komet still on the board here, considering we already have 2 tight ends. But what can you do? Maybe we do go Dameon Pierce here. Probably not, honestly. Oh, we're kind of in a pinch. I think we should go Dameon Pierce here, to be honest. Just because Dameon Pierce probably is the best value here. I do like a lot of the wide receivers on the board right now, or like a lot of them are like fairly decent, but we do need other running backs as well. So it is good. We got our 4th back. Dameon Pierce could come in and take volume right away. I think it is at least possible. I don't know if the odds are that great. We really are. That's a situation that's really tough to project. I have no idea who the running back in Houston is going to be this year. I mean, it really could be anyone. They have so many guys that they could start, and I really don't think anybody. I don't think we're gonna know until week 1 of the NFL season. There's just too many guys, too many names. They're probably gonna be trying all out on the first team. I mean, if I had to guess, I would probably say Dameon Pierce. He's getting the draft capital. In terms of best ball draft capital, and he is a rookie. They did draft him. It is their current regime's draft pick. So I would say Dameon Pierce, but again, he is a rookie. I think a 4th round pick. So I mean, realistically, how much draft capital is he getting? Or realistically, how much work is he going to be getting if they do have a ton of other names in there? I don't know. I mean, it's not too much. Hopefully at pick 153, we can get another one of these wide receiver types. I mean, that would really be awesome. We need a wide receiver, again, desperately. We do have a fair amount of good wide receivers. I think we have either 5 or 6. We have 5. So if we can get, I mean, I think you guys know who I'm eyeing up here. Probably Van Jefferson would be the best pick. Nico Collins I'd be fine with, even though it wouldn't really be a value. Jarvis Landry too, since we have Olave. Betting on this New Orleans offense to be nice. Maybe we even go Jameis too, finish out and get a double stack, even though I don't love drafting Jameis that much. I mean, it is possible Jameis does well. He does have at least a little bit of rushing upside. Not like too much, but something. Honestly, though, most likely I'm going to be waiting really, really long and getting somebody like Wentz. Probably Wentz and Watson. Watson's been rising up draft boards again, but this draft room is absolutely crazy, so it is possibly falls pretty far. 2 is still on the board as well, which is a little, honestly, really surprising. I don't think we're going to go with him because I do want to round out this wide receiver room a little bit more, and I don't think Tua really offers too much more than these other QBs on the board, like a Zach Wilson, Deshaun Watson. I mean, there's guys that I would rather have. Not rather have, but rather have at their ADPs than Tua. Even Baker Mayfield I'd like. There's a lot of guys. We do only have to go 2 tight ends. We do have 2 great tight ends, so that's fine. Both at values, too, which is really nice. 51, 57, and 88 and 105. I mean, 2 guys we're getting at pretty good values. We don't have the option to take Tua now. Anyways, Matt Ryan off the board. Jameis Winston off the board. We get a little bit of a QB run going. I'm fine with it. Let more value come to me. I got Kyler. Van Jefferson coming off the board. Oh, my God. Deshaun Watson coming off the board as well. This is pretty tough, honestly. This is pretty tough. I'm not going to lie to you. This hurts. We got Van Jefferson coming off the board. This guy goes Najee, Saquon, Kyle Pitts, David Montgomery, Jerry Jeudy. He's got a good team, honestly. I do like this team. Although, why draft 3 good QBs? I don't understand that. I mean, I don't really like Derek Carr. I think Derek Carr, good NFL QB, but not a good fantasy QB. I mean, he threw 4,800 passing yards last year. Yeah, I'll give him that. But that's really about it. I mean, 17 and 13 touchdown and interception. He's really not slinging that many touchdowns. Never really been a career 30 touchdown guy aside from his crazy MVP season, which was once in a lifetime. But it is possible. Oh no, Jamison Crowder's dealing with soreness. Devontae Parker's off the board. Torn between two guys, whether it be Jamison Crowder or Robbie Anderson. Probably will go Jamison Crowder just because he most likely will have a more defined role in that offense, and he is only 29 years old. Something that, I mean, I would feel like a lot of people would think that Jamison Crowder is much older. If I were to guess Jamison Crowder's age, I would probably think 31 or 32, but no, he's only 29. Still the same age as Diggs, or 1 year older than Diggs, so he's really not even that old. Here we're just going to be hitting these wide receivers, maybe a quarterback. I don't like Mac Jones. He offers no rushing whatsoever. I mean, 129 yards. Good leader, apparently, according to this, but I mean, the leader doesn't translate to fantasy points. I'll say that. Probably going to go Nico here. Nico will probably get sniped now that I say his name, but if he does, he does. Mac Jones coming off the board. This guy's 7 wide receivers. I imagine he probably doesn't want Nico, but it is possible he does get his 8th. With 2 6 buys in a row, he might be picking up Nico Collins to get his 3rd. 6-week buy. He's got Dawson Knox at tight end too. He goes Gus Edwards. Now we got Coach Jay Hill with an interesting team. He goes Gerald Everett. We're going to get Nico. Now we have at least a wide receiver core that is salvageable. I mean, it's not really strong wide receiver core. It's really like a pretty weak wide receiver core, honestly. I hate to say it. It's not a good wide receiver core. But everything else about this team is so strong that it doesn't really matter. I mean, we have phenomenal running backs. I would say solidly above average tight ends. I mean, at least the top third of the league. We probably have the 4th best tight ends in the league, give or take. I mean, I haven't looked at any specific tight end builds here, but just assuming, I mean, 4th best tight ends, probably some of the best running backs, and a good quarterback. I mean, Kyler Murray, and then we'll pair him up with, hopefully, because a lot of these guys took QBs, so I imagine not too many other QBs are going to be coming off the board. Hopefully pair him up with someone like Zach Wilson, even though it is painful. I really don't want to have to take Zach Wilson that much. But at this point, I think it is inevitable. We kind of need him. I hate to say it, Deshaun Watson off the board, everything like that. It is nice, though. I mean, we do have 7 wide receivers that are at least should be able to score somewhat. All of them are pretty much either young, unproven guys, though, or really old guys who will potentially have a high ceiling. I mean, obviously, all 3 of these guys are pretty much young and unproven. Nico Collins, young and unproven. Jamison Crowder, old and proven, but not proven to be much. D-Hop with a 6-game suspension. We do have Terry McLaurin to really actually make the room solid with a nice floor. Because Terry McLaurin's floor is pretty nice. I mean, ceiling, I don't know how high it could be. Maybe we do honestly get Carson Wentz because we pair up Carson Wentz with Terry McLaurin. Every time Terry McLaurin is a boom week, Carson Wentz is a boom week. Lowers our floor a little bit, but does raise our ceiling, and our ceiling is ultimately what matters. So we'll probably end up taking Wentz at pick 184. Then I do feel somewhat comfortable only taking 2 QBs at the end of the day. It is nice. Even though ADP does say I should take Zach Wilson here, Ryan Tannehill, Jared Goff, Baker Mayfield over Wentz, I think getting the stack is probably better. And at this point, our team combination is so unique. I mean, nobody else probably has a team like this, honestly. There's just no way. With the way ADPs worked, like George Kittle, TJ Hawkinson, that I don't think many people are going to have a team like this. So we can afford to reach a little bit. And then we probably will be taking, honestly, 9 wide receivers, 10 wide receivers. I think that's the route we pretty much have to go here because our wide receivers aren't really that strong, and we are going to be missing D-Hop for the first 6 weeks of the season. So I think we do need to go 10 wide receivers here, and I think the 10 wide receivers we're going to get either Pickens or Campbell, or both potentially. I'd probably prefer Pickens over Campbell just because Pickens is a week 9 bye. I really need to adjust this whole bye situation. Actually, nah, I guess we have Jamison Crowder and Nico now, but we do need some other wide receivers not having a bye in week 14. We probably will go Pickens here, though. Pickens is also nice. I mean, if one of Chase Claypool or Deontay Johnson do get injured this season, George Pickens is going to be walking into a pretty big workload. I mean, I feel like the Steelers do like to pass a lot. And another thing, the Steelers are almost never wrong in their wide receivers. I mean, Chase Claypool is probably like their most, or I guess Juju's probably like two of their most blundered picks to date. But I mean, Juju is getting a lot of hate for being Juju. But even still, I mean, Juju's at least a pretty decent wide receiver. I mean, it's undeniable that Juju had an insane season in his, what was it, rookie or second year, age 22 season. Juju's at least a talented player. He might not have panned out with the Steelers, but he's at least a very talented player. Chase Claypool, say what you want to say about Chase Claypool, showboat, whatever. The talent is at least there. I mean, he's had, 900 yards each last, like 2 or 3 seasons. He's at least an average wide receiver in the NFL, at least an average wide receiver too, and they get him in the second round. And here they take Pickens, a guy coming in with a lot of hype, a lot of talent. I think George Pickens will be a good NFL wide receiver just because the Steelers know how to get their wide receivers. It's like a weird talent they have. It's kind of cool though. Here, the reason why I'm not grabbing another running back is because Austin Eckler, Joe Mixon, and Javonte Williams. If any of these three go down, it probably means my season is over, most likely. So I pretty much need to rely on having just them. If one of them goes down, I mean Austin Eckler and Joe Mixon. Let's say Joe Mixon goes down, and then I have Austin Eckler and Javonte Williams, which is fine. I mean that's still really good. I think getting 4 running backs here is probably best. I'm gonna get a lot of these deep bomb guys, like a Paris Campbell. Zach Wilson's still on the board here. We're gonna wait. We're gonna wait at QB. Probably end up going with the guy 201. Depending on how many QBs come off the board, Carson Wentz at 201, if not that many come off the board, if any. I mean, this guy only has one quarterback, so it is probably will go quarterback 203 or 206. So we might want to beat him to that punch if a lot of quarterbacks come off the board. Either way, if you guys are still watching, please go down, leave a like on this video, leave a comment, hashtag bestball, try and get in this giveaway. Giveaway details are in the comments, but basically, go down to the comments, type in hashtag bestball, you can type in whatever else you want. Hashtag best ball. You had a great draft. Hashtag best ball. Why take 10 wide receivers? Anything. Call me a complete idiot. I don't mind. Type in hashtag best ball. You can put as many entries as there are of videos that I have up. So you can go to all of my other videos, comment hashtag best ball, and you will be entered into the tournament. I mean, come on, it's free money. You will win $50 if you do end up winning. That will be announced once I have 50 subscribers. I am hoping that I do hit 50 subscribers before these underdog fantasy drafts are over. So that way, you could use the $50 to Underdog Fantasy, which I think would be best. And then the only other thing you have to do is subscribe to the channel. Once you do those two things, you will be entered into the contest. Once I have 50 subs, you guys will hopefully win this $50 and then go on to potentially win $2 million. I mean, that would be awesome. If I could turn that $50 that I give you guys into $2 million, what more can you ask for? Circle of life. It's beautiful. But anyways, just go down, leave a like on this video, leave a comment, unrelated to the hashtag best ball thing, and subscribe if you guys do enjoy the content. It would mean the world to me. It makes me so happy every time I see the subscriber count go up, knowing you guys like my videos. And if you guys do want to crush your best ball drafts, another great reason to subscribe. You get to see all these different draft strategies, everything like that. We got Will Fuller coming off the board. There's a lot of honestly, pretty not good wide receivers. Where did Julio go? Julio Jones coming off the board at pick 165. I didn't even notice that. I was going to say, I mean, if he was still on the board, I would gladly take him here. Here we most likely will be taking KJ Hamler or Wan'Dale. Carson Wentz is still on the board, and so is Zach Wilson, so can't be too mad. We're going to end up with the 10th wide receiver here, which is honestly pretty nice. And since we do have a fair amount of Denver players, not really a fair amount, yeah, he plays on the pup list. This does make sense. He did tear his ACL last season, so it is not surprising that KJ Hamler ends up on the pup list. He's physically unable to participate. That's what the pup list is. Doesn't mean that he's going to be out 6 weeks just yet. It is possible that he does end up missing 6 weeks at least, or 4 weeks at least. But as of now, being placed on the pup list just means you're coming in with an injury. It's not as scary as it sounds. Samir White coming off the board, pick 197. It's possible he could be getting some third down work in this offense. I mean, I don't know exactly. The Raiders are a situation that you really don't know exactly how many targets and how many rushes Josh Jacobs is going to get. I mean, honestly, it is still a little scary. I'm not going to lie. I probably still like Josh Jacobs, although I haven't been taking him much around his ADP. I think he is falling now, so his ADP probably will be going up. Or I probably will be drafting him more as ADP falls. That's what I really like to do. I mean, it is possible that those players never fall. Like, Saquon Barkley's only risen and risen as people realize the value of getting a guy like Saquon Barkley. But other guys, they do fall. Like Jerry Jeudy was getting all this hype going around pick 41. But now it's just KJ Hamler comes off the board. But now it's just Courtland Sutton going that high. So we're going to end up with 10 wide receivers here. And then hopefully take Carson Wentz with our last pick and cap off this draft, which I think has been a really, really good draft. I usually never, ever draft 10 wide receivers. I have never done that. I don't think I've ever done that once. But in this situation, our wide receivers are pretty bad, and every other position is so strong that I think it was pretty much needed at this point. Jared Goff comes off the board. I swear to God, if we get sniped on Wentz here and Baker, I would be pretty mad. I don't think it'll happen, but it is possible. T-Mags is just trolling us at this point. Carson Wentz comes off the board. Are you kidding me? Oh my God. How is this even possible? Guy has 3 QBs. Oh my God. this stinks. Alright, hopefully we can get Baker Mayfield here. A guy who will start. A guy who will definitely start in his offense, and that's all you could ask for. Probably should have went Baker over. But honestly, no, I should not have done that. Because, like, there's no way I could have suspected these guys to take 2 last round QBs here. When all of them have a decent amount of QBs. I mean, I guess T-Mags I could have expected. We're going to go Baker Mayfield here, and we're going to call it a video. As always, guys, thank you so much for watching. I hope you guys have a great night.